only one that has. You ever heard of the Dreamers Act? That's where my dreamers at. Join hands where believers at. Amen if you agree with that. It's similar to American dream. My native people said it wasn't a dream. So even though you never heard of me, I'm declaring this emergency. You gotta be allowed to dream, but more than anything, have a reason to believe the dream can be achieved. In a way we're all dreamers. You can feel like Martin, even if you are an immigrant. Just tell me, dreamers. Even if you're feeling different, you can feel like Martin. Can anybody really tell me what a dreamer is? Cause I'm living with Ruby Breeze. Can dream big, so can we dream big, so can we. It's so sad when I think of Ukraine. Civilians fighting tanks and planes. From Africa to America, from the New York, Cali to the Texas plains. My thoughts on community. It's all love, it's unity. But how's a woman and a man to see? It's a struggle, feed families. You gotta be allowed to dream, but more than anything, have a reason to believe the dream can be achieved. In a way, we're all dreamers. You can dream like Martin, even if you are an immigrant. Just tell me, dreamers. Even if you're feeling different, you can feel like Martin. Can anybody really tell me what a dream is? Never speak. You know, they say just because you open your eyes don't mean you stop dreaming. Nah, you know, God is dreaming big. God is good. That's the shit all the time. In a way, we're all dreamers. You can feel like Martin, even if you are an immigrant. Dreamers, even if you're feeling different, you can feel like Martin.
Dreamers. Yeah, man. Dreamers. I don't know. Whoa. What was I on when I was writing that? You know? I was on something different, right? Anyway, this Krown Deon, man. Unapologetically revolutionary. It is what it is. WTAN Tan Talk Radio. This is your boy Krown Deon, and I am broadcasting from the Golden Gate House. My guy Ed back in the studios in WTAN Tan Talk Radio, man. If you're looking for a good morning radio show, a good morning radio station, even a good night radio station, a good podcast, check us out, man. Stay tuned. You can get us on TuneIn. That's probably the best place. That way you can get me worldwide. That way you can listen to me in your car. Stay informed. Tune in. Revolutionary Road. That's Krown Deon. And 1340 AM, Tan Talk Radio, and it's 106.1 FM, and probably a few more stations. You could also catch us on YouTube. Anyway, I ain't gonna waste too much time because guess what? Town don't really wait for nobody. And the more we sit down and wait for things to happen, the more this guy Joe Biden probably seems to think of ideas to mess up the nation. I ain't mean that like that, but I kind of did. All right. You might wonder why I'm in Florida. I'm in sunny, beautiful Florida. And I got Golden State. I got the Golden Gate Bridge in the background representing who? Them Golden State Warriors. So I got to keep that backdrop. You know what I mean? Because actually in about 2-3 hours, they're going to be tipping off again. And that kind of speaks as to why I'm going live a little early, because I had to do some hosting tonight. Yeah, a different thing tonight. And so I got to come a little early, but nevertheless, we're still on WTA and Tan Talk Radio. And man, you know what? A lot's going on. I was doing some work in my yard, and guess what I did? I got tired of seeing this certain cable. It's been a cable in my yard for like 3 months. I tried to bury it. So anyway, I was doing some work and I just chopped it out of the blue. I said, man, it can't be my Wi-Fi. And yeah, I chopped it. And guess what? It was my Wi-Fi. No, yes, it was my Wi-Fi. So I said that to say, I kind of been without, some distractions. And what I mean when I say distractions, I actually mean every time you look at the news, that is all we get. That is all we are seeing, all we are hearing. That's all that's going on. I mean, I'm positive there's some good news somewhere, but either they don't want to talk about the good news because they need to continue to scare you into voting for a certain party, or one party want to act like everything is all good and gravy and beautiful in the nation, while the other party is saying, no, you better open your eyes. As a matter of fact, if you complained about the last party or administration that was in the White House, then you should actually be probably jumping off. I mean, you probably kind of like going crazy right now. I mean, you actually are probably really ready to do some damage. And as you can see, I make no light of the situation that when you look around, that's all we see happening. Damage. All we see happening is damage. We can blame it on a lot of mental health. And that's not to downplay mental health in the United States of America. But there's a lot of blame. I mean, even the mental health people are now saying, hold on, man, y'all, come on, man. That ain't us. I mean, right now, the mental health people saying, hey, leave us alone. I mean, everything is getting blamed. Excuse me, y'all know I got to stay with the water. Got to stay hydrated. So I'm a little juicy on the lips, got to keep a little swig on me. And so right now, mental health patients all over the world, especially the United States of America, probably are saying, wait a minute, give us a break. Stop. right. Yeah. Stop blaming everything on us. Hold on. We got our own lane. Y'all interrupting, y'all crowding our space right now. We do this. There's some different things going on, and we do things because we don't even actually know what we're doing when we're doing it, and we got all kinds of other things talking to us. Right now, what's happening is policies are talking to people. Policies are actually making people get up in arms and doing things. Come on, man. I know Uvalde, Texas is talked about, and may God, those kids, 19. I know it's been talked about over and over and over again, but ask yourselves, when was it done before? And I know somebody might want to bring up Columbine, but I think Columbine was Columbine High School. All right. Right. Yeah. Okay. And I know we had Parkland, and I don't even know what Parkland was. I know it wasn't a high school. So I said a middle school, which is junior high, which is still different from what we just had happen, where, you know, this guy had an option of 2 different schools, and, you know, the high school right here. It doesn't really matter what option he took, but I'm just saying this is something new. And there's the great chairwoman, owner Zanae Yesatilla. She would also remind me all the time, this is nothing new. I had to kind of think of that quote. I had to actually think of what atrocity happened. I think when George Floyd was actually murdered on the street, it broke me down to the point where I remember literally calling up the chairman and chairwoman, and that was something different. And I said to myself, well, actually, I said to them, this is something new, you know, and they reminded me it's nothing new. Technology, cell phones, you know, a lot of different things today allow us to see things that we could never see. And because we could never see it, we could not imagine it. And so when we saw George Floyd, it was something that we couldn't imagine. And but lo and behold, there are probably a lot worse things that has happened, and a lot more. So as they said, it wasn't nothing new. And so now I'm questioning even my own logic, but I'm gonna stick to my guns and say it seems like to me that not stick to my guns literally. Let me walk that back. Let me walk that back. And no, but you guys know what I'm saying. I'm gonna stick to my strengths on that. And I'm gonna say this seems like something new when somebody actually takes a choice and says, I'm gonna go ahead and you know, assassinate these children. And you know, it reminds me of Buffalo. And I haven't even touched any of my subject yet. This Krown Deon is WTA and Tan Talk Radio, 1340 AM if you're in the St. Peter Clearwater area, 106.1 FM if you're in the St. Peter Clearwater area. And as always, join us on TuneIn. TuneIn app, Revolutionary Road, and Krown Deon will be your host. And soon I'll be changing that title, so stay tuned for that. But anyway, I haven't even touched the subjects. It's like you actually think of Buffalo, and you actually, if you haven't seen the actual footage, then you're still blinded, and you're still the funny thing about Fox is they love to cover some things in like real detail and to the fullest and to the farthest extent, and for in a lot of ways I don't like the characters on Fox News, but I can't deny that they are probably the better reported, you know, in full stories than any other network. And, you know, you just get fed up with the characters that you see. But having said that, it's quite ironic that you don't see a lot of real detail about the Buffalo shooting when it comes to Fox News. And, you know, you do on the other networks. And so everybody has their reason for their propaganda, the agitation and propaganda. And that's why people need to appreciate whatever media you can get in your own communities that actually believe in their own agitation and propaganda. You know, that's just the bottom line, because you have to have people to make you feel the truth, because the other people are trying to make you feel a story. They're making you feel a lie. They're making you feel what are called feelings, and that's not good or bad. I mean, that's not good for nobody. You know, that's only good for those that are in power and for those that have money lying in their pockets. You know, some people they don't even know the effects of the pandemic. That's how much money they got. You could probably see those same people making jokes. Yeah, hold on. Yeah. You can see those same people making jokes right now about how high gas is. And so, you know, for some people, we pay these limousines. We pay these security guards. And when I say security guards, I shouldn't even say security guards. I should say security detail. Hold on one second. Yeah. We're paying, they can make light of the situation and they can make so many jokes about it because it's actually the bill is being footed by the taxpayers, you and myself. And if you don't have a job, pat yourself on the back. And when I say that, that don't mean you don't have a job and you're broke. I should say if you don't have to work in corporate America, pat yourself on the back. If you don't have a job and you don't pay taxes, then you're not proud of that problem, but you're still going to feel that problem. Trust me when I tell you that. And so, we really have to be certain and careful on the people we elect, the people we support, the people we finance. If you can't fight, sometimes you feel like, hey, well, at least I'll support this group over here. Or hold on one second. That's not good. And so you can say sometimes I would like to support, even though I can't commit class suicide, job suicide, or whatever. You might not want the dangers coming to your houses if you see, as you see right now, even Supreme Court. I mean, like, it is crazy. And the reason why I say that is people say, well, why, Krown, why you talk about that? I mean, that's not bothering you. That's not affecting you, brother. They marching in front of judges. A judge sends you to 20-some years for gun charges a long time ago. Yeah, judges did you wrong. You did 10 years in prison. A judge did that. I got family that's been unlawfully or unfairly sentenced for something they didn't do. I got all things that are true, and I feel them and I understand them. But let me tell you my narrative, and let me tell you something that you should understand if you're ever someone to be speaking your truth, but at the same time your platform, in your music. You may be a minister, you may become a politician or a person for the people. You may be a mayor, senator, president, governor, and so, or a judge or a doctor. So you may be in a position where you yourself may have to one day be beheld or speak, and your words will be held in regard by people, by listeners, whether it's 1 or 1 million. That counts. And so, yes, of course I'm speaking, because they're mad at the judge now. Ironically, I've been around the movement forever. And, there are Black organizations that have been active for a long time in the United States. And a lot of the things that people are so vehemently calling for now, they did not call for. I mean, even the pastors and the preachers and a lot of the regular civil rights people that were looked at as weak, or that were looked at as, sometimes, civil rights and revolution is 2 different things. And so sometimes what they were fighting for is looked at different from people in the Revolutionary Party, such as someone like the Panthers, the Uhuru movement, even the Nation of Islam, who is a strong community about self. And when I say self, I mean building up the Black family, as my sister Muhammad would say, repairing the Black family. So I'm saying there are a lot of things that we see now that regular people would not dare call for, because they were afraid of the pressures of outside that now they will call for. And those that used to oppose certain things wouldn't dare oppose it, or you'll see people at your door. You'll see your employer come to your table and say, hey, we got to let you go because of some comment you made on Facebook. Oh, you support, or hey, oh, you don't support abortion. Oh, we got to let you go. Oh, you don't support gay marriage, or you do support. And so everything you say at this point, So you better be paying attention to, yeah, even the Supreme Court judges are not safe. So if you don't see that and that don't bother you, that means you're just chilling in life, and that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that either. But that means your lane in life is you're basically saying, hey, my daughters and my sons will never be anything. They don't. Let me not say never be anything, but I'm going to provide a way for them so they never have to worry about speaking a word of their feelings, to where it won't affect them in society so bad. And even millionaires are affected by their words. And so it's going to be hard to kind of make up something to make people feel good about it. But if that don't bother you, that means you're not paying attention, or you're simply asleep. But if you have any dreams, and if you're somebody saying, I can be this, or I can be that, or it might be too late for me because of a lot of different things. I might be this age, but I have children and grandchildren. And so my children and grandchildren can be this or that. If you are one of those people, then everything that you see right now going on in actually America, the world, but I'm just narrowing it down to what we thought this supposed to be great. Christian nation and schools was safe, churches was safe, where everything was, I mean, we didn't all think it was hunky-dory, but the things that we seeing now is crazy. And I'm saying that as a nation. Now, as an African American, as a Black person, as an African in America, it might not seem as appalling if you know your history, and it might not seem as stunning or heart-wrenching, or actually it is heart-wrenching, but I'm just saying, to some people, they can actually just quickly say, hey, Black people caught hell for, and they could forget how far we have come. We got a long way to go, but sometimes you can like numbly say, turn to the history of even the Native America, even the native of America, and what they call it Indian and Navajos and all of these different terminologies, and now share reservations in opposed to having their nation. The African who was brought here as slaves, kidnapped, and so and so many other different people and groups that came to this nation, which is like a nation of immigrants, and for some a nation of captives. No matter how you look at it, we have come a long way to see what we are seeing in Uvalde, in our schools, even in some of the churches. The senators that was, even in, Carolina, where 9 Blacks were just gunned down purposely in a church, and the perpetrator went to Burger King before going to jail. This guy who did what he did in Buffalo, I didn't forget. If you did not see it, if you can, email me or something privately, I can get it to you, because they're not going to let it be on media. It's very sad. I won't deny that. It's very, very sad. But in some ways, somebody said, well, how can you watch it? I got granddaughters and I got grandsons, and so in some ways it's like we need to see it. You need to see how a man, and first of all, let me say this. I want to say, I'm sorry, I gotta pay attention to the chat as well. I want to say, first of all, if America really wanted to stop some of the issues that they have, how, and I know the video game world is a serious contribution to the economic society. And so that's what I'm saying. It's like the NRA, which I don't have issues with, but my point is, you have all of these powerful things. Because I'm like, it's just like Trump challenged the NRA. It's funny, they just snatched all of these videos down. They first had them up because they wanted to make Trump look bad, but then when they realized, hey, he's actually challenging the NRA, saying, how can a kid buy a handgun? And how can a kid, I meant to say, how can a kid not buy a handgun, not buy alcohol, not be able to get in some nightclubs, not be able to, participate in so many things of America until you're 21 years old? But you can go and buy a certain assault rifle at the age of 18. And now suddenly you can't even see that video. It's taken down because one, they want you to continue to hate Trump. And they want you to continue to say, hey, he's the problem. But they also want you to know that they also want you to feel like nobody has challenged the NRA to certain things. And so it goes back on Congress. How can that happen? How can laws like that even stay in place? That's outside of the NRA. How can an 18-year-old go buy a gun that big that can take out mass amount of people that are in a certain amount in an instant, but you have to be 21 to actually do a lot of other things in America. Some of it is what some people just call getting a high or getting drunk, and going to have fun at this place or that place. I mean, that's ridiculous. And so getting back to this video game stuff, this guy obviously did everything textbook video game. I don't play a lot of video games. I don't play none at all anymore. But I've been known to beat up on my kids on some football, on some Madden. You know what I'm saying? I have, and all fathers know it. That's like, you know what? But I'm gonna keep it real. We had to beat them before the hit stick came in. Once that hit stick stuff came and you had to have fingers, like you had to have like 12 fingers, you started losing and you stopped playing your kids. That's what I would suggest. All right. And then you gotta find, you can go and find a couple of their friends, like Sosa. Shout out to Sosa. That's my next punching bag when I want to get off on Madden, but that's been years. Anyway, so I don't know about Grand Theft Auto. I don't know about a lot of them, but that's the one I'm hearing about now. And I've obviously, at my age, I've seen it plenty of times. And these guys definitely, the Buffalo shooter definitely did it almost exactly to the T. That type of, ops, and you can see the whole thing. I mean, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. The most important thing about that video is not how we did it. For me, it's very important almost at the end that it was clear that he was targeting blacks and Hispanics. But also he was walking around the store fast, looking to kill who he can kill, shooting at almost anything that moved in an instant. And he shot and he pointed at his gun at a white guy, and he immediately apologized. Did everybody hear that? He immediately apologized and he kept going to kill more blacks or Hispanics. If you haven't seen it, you got to get in touch with somebody. And why am I saying you got to see it? You got to see it because you need to understand that kid that did that school shooting, for the people that have that footage as well, because some of those kids had a phone. You don't have a lot of footage, but you could actually see where this kid was sitting down basically doing the same thing, actively targeting what other classes he was about to go in and target more children. I won't use that word. I'm gonna say target. While this one kid, thank God, wasn't deceased. And and so I'm saying it is important to me, as sad as it is to see the Buffalo thing and even to see the small amount of footage that we have in Uvalde, it's important. Parents need to buckle down and watch it and understand that there are idiots like that still out there willing to walk in another grocery store and another school. If you can go by your school after watching that, go by your school. Go by the school that your child is going to. Go by the school that your children will be attending and make sure they are up to par. Why? It's a great time in summer. That's why, right? It's Krown Deon. I'm unapologetically revolutionary, and this is WTAN Tan Talk Radio every Monday night at 10 o'clock. You can hear me going live, but you can also hear me every Friday with a Friday night rant on Unapologetically Revolutionary. That's on my podcast. Please download it and support. As for right now, 106.1 FM, 1340 AM. Tune in, the app, always live. Keeping it going, YouTube radio as well. I meant to say our YouTube page at WTA and Tan Talk as well. Yes, indeed. It would not hurt you. It will bother you, but it won't hurt you. Carmex. Shout out to Carmex, I guess. All right. I might as well. Yeah, it won't hurt. It may bother you for a little while, but we was just talking about feelings and how people try to make, well, I'm actually trying to make you. This is my agitation. And that the ironic thing about it is no propaganda. This is real. And when the news do it to you, they actually use a lot of propaganda, editing and cutting and deceiving you on what you're hearing and not giving you the full truth. With this, it's actually real life. And so it would do you good, even if it bothers you. It would still do you good if you have children to watch some of this stuff, unless you already have your child secure to where you're not worried about that type of situation when it comes to the school. But I actually made another video since this happened. And I went by Melrose Elementary in St. Petersburg, Florida. Shout out to the Berg. Shout out to the Berg. Yes, indeed. Now, don't clap just yet, right? And so I did a video, and I'm gonna post that video because it's important to post it. And I don't want people saying it's summertime. I know, that's the point. That's why you need to make noise now. Melrose Elementary, we have a black mayor just elected in St. Petersburg, and I want to say he's a Democratic mayor. Now, why is that important? That's important because you hear the Democratic machine convincing you and us that, and first of all, when we see some of the things that we see, it's not bad. I can't even, it's hard to even complain about as much as what we're hearing about getting rid of, you're hearing about these certain elect groups wanting to get rid of Jews and black people. And, you know, judging by the way things are going at the border, probably Hispanics as well. How big is that movement? I don't know. Is it alive? Definitely. Look at what happened in Uvalde. You want to say those people are not minorities? I want to tell you, you're wrong. And so you want to wonder why this Caucasian kid chose that particular school? Well, it wasn't just because they were kids, but I can also guarantee you that the makeup of that community is high with Mexicans, or Hispanic people. And so I definitely think that was a racial thing as well. So when we have what we have right now from the Democrats and Republicans, as it should be, but they're talking about getting rid of blacks. This is a school in the black community, the very, very heart of the black community. It's probably one of the most inner, like really inner ghetto, like really in the ghetto hood, surrounded by nothing but like houses and not a lot of commercial stuff around it, not a lot of traffic, nothing but hood. And that's not to knock the school. That's just to say something can happen there pretty easily, and the escape routes will be a lot easier without a lot of serious attention, like schools and other businesses to keep with cameras and stuff like that. And so this is a school that actually needs to be upgraded. I actually went around that school with my camera, and this is a school that has a 6-foot-high gate, where any perpetrator could jump the gate. Well, if a group of people is actually looking to get rid of a good community of people, black people, a certain culture of people. And they are saying that it is our people, the Black people, that are under attack. And we just, it would be, why they're not doing anything about it. That's what I'm getting to. Why don't we see anything being done about it? And then if you're a parent and you have a child that goes to that school, or a child that's go to any school in the Department of Education in the United States of America, go by your child's school, check the security of that school, make sure it's just not a point A of jumping over a gate and being able to, infiltrate a school. Make sure it's much more than that. Make sure, they should have sally ports, similar to what they have in prison and similar to what they have in banks, to where you got to actually walk in one area, by yourself. And they got that at GTE Bank, for goodness gracious. You actually feel like I've been to prison, sorry. And so I know what it is to have to walk into one. And for all of you GTE Bank members, if that feeling does not feel good, it's because it's not good. And that is what they do to prisoners. You walk in one section and you're locked in on both sides before you're able to get to another section. If you can be done that way, where a bank holds your money, then our children should be able to have a school to where any visitor, I'm talking about, why is it that illegal, I just want to get to the wall. I just want to put your mind in your mind in the frame mindset of the wall or the gate, when Obama built the gate, whatever you want to call it. No matter who that person was trying to climb, get into this country, we're not even talking about illegal immigration. We're just saying, no matter who that person was getting into this country at that time, why did he have to fight harder to just simply climb into America? Not hurt nobody. He just want to get over here and wave his hand and say, asylum. You feel me? Why is it that somebody would have to fight harder, might fall down the wall and break his leg or arm, might not make it because of barbed wire, whatever the precautions and the setbacks was. But we know that people had to actually, we've seen images, and it wasn't an easy thing. But if you made it, great. But it wasn't where people just was Humpty Doobie over. People needed help, and they was helping each other, and they had to make all kind of apparatuses. And you mean to tell me our school, where our children at, where we've had time and time, why are we still saying we got to get this right? That Columbine, I heard that in Columbine, nothing else. This shit, Columbine was a wake up. I can't really think of nothing before Columbine. So that was said to be the wake up. Why is Uvalde still the wake up? I don't understand it. And why, after Uvalde, could I pass by a school in the middle of the heart of the ghetto in St. Petersburg, Florida, with no kind of commercial access to it? The only way that you can see and hope for some help with the camera is if civilians have their cameras on. This isn't right. So if the plot is alive and well, like the government and like the Democrats have been saying, well, we just had a Democratic mayor. Well, you've been put on notice by your boy Krown Deon. This is Krown Deon, unapologetically revolutionary, unapologetically keeping it real, unapologetically rode around Melrose Elementary and saw a 6-foot gate that can be easily assessed and not much security after that to get into that school. And so that's not for me. I'm not trying to get in. I'm saying with all of the high things that we've seen on alert, we need to make sure our children are going to safe schools. And if they're not, get them out of there. That's just one precaution. We can't stop everything, but that's just a precaution. Speaking of civilians, it's your boy Krown Deon, and man, time flies. It really, really, really flies. I wanted to play another song for you and, and give you another cut. Yeah. But guess what? Besides, this water is good. I'm not gonna do it. Yes, so God is good all the time. And that is Allah, however you want to say your God. I try not to offend people with certain things. And the thing about Allah is we know, without a doubt, no matter how you feel about certain things, we know that means God. Why they try to train us to speak a different thing? It's so funny how we select what languages we want to participate in and what words we like to choose. And even though when we're certain that it all means the same thing. Anyway, off of that, God is good. And I thank God every opportunity I get to speak to the people. When we talk about civilians having cameras on their houses in St. Petersburg, just in case anything ever happens at Melrose Elementary. If you're around that school, please help be a real community person, because they need better security. But anyway, and so how about in Idaho? I gotta talk fast. I can do that sometimes. Yeah. I'm pretty good at it sometimes. And so in Idaho, we got a group of people. In that group of people, oh snap. In that group of people, you had 31 people in the back of a U-Haul. 31 people in the back of a U-Haul, right? Now these people were said to be under surveillance by the FBI and the local police. All right. So already under watch by authorities. So they say. So a civilian, thank God, a civilian noticed, like, I know I'm not surveillance, and I know I'm not the cops that swear they're watching this certain group of people, but I just seen 31 people climbing back of a U-Haul. Now, this person, first, I'm not gonna waste too much time with my re-dramatizations like I love to do, but thank God this person wasn't a dummy. Thank God this person realized that these people are not immigrants, because we see how the trafficking goes, and that was a little wise joke, but it actually wasn't a joke. And that person realized that those people are dressed in army fatigue, white nationalist gear, and those people don't look like they just came from over the border and they are being trafficked. And I say that because particularly they got in the back of a U-Haul, and that person had enough sense to actually take a video and call the cops. Now, ironically, there is a gay pride event a few blocks away. All right. That's important. Y'all think I don't cover everything? See, I talk about it all. It's all real, because what's fair is fair and what's right is right. All right. So, and I don't know anything. I haven't seen a manifesto, but come on. Yeah. We're not stupid. We're not gonna act stupid. We're not gonna be CNN when you're talking with Krown Deon. There's not a group of militia a block away from the gay pride event and the transgender whole thing going on, and it not having much to do with each other, and they getting in the back of this U-Haul. I think the person that made that call in that video was actually a blessing, was spoken to by God, and they moved by the command of God, even though they didn't know it at the time. But they may have saved a slew of people in that event. It's possible. That's me, Krown Deon. I haven't heard a report on that, but that's common sense. It's like, yeah. Come on. Yeah. All right. And so the thing is, you have a group of people armed to the T. I mean, getting ready to rock and roll. And dressed, ready to rock and roll. And so when the police pulled them over, I thank thank God for them on the YouTube nation and the Instagram people. We're also critical. Real news is a lot more critical, and they keep it a lot. I meant to say, some of the media news, the uncontrolled part, is a lot more on point than what you're being, what the $1 billion corporations are paid to make you believe, and what they want to make you believe. And so, yeah, man, it's like the cops, when they did this, they didn't even look scared. They raised the back of the U-Haul. They raised the back of the U-Haul truck up like they knew some people in there. I mean, was this the cops pulling over cops? Were these off-duty cops? Or, all right, hold on. I don't want people to think I'm a cop basher. I got, but I'm just being real. There's no secret that all types of stories are, not stories, but truths are reported. And so that wouldn't be a far-fetched idea to say some of those guys back there in the back of that U-Haul knew some of those cops. Some of those cops knew those guys. They didn't have a fear in the world. If that would have been a U-Haul full of black people, or a U-Haul full of people that they said, hey, they heard just talking about the Taliban or anything like that, if that had been a U-Haul full of others, that would have went different. That demand and command would have been coming over a megaphone, 1,000 feet away. It may have been approached with a robot with a bomb on it. We've seen worse. And man, I gotta tell you, go ahead and look it up on you can see it on my Facebook page, Krown Deon, the People's Voice. You can also see it on YouTube anywhere. I'm not somebody who just need people to go see it on my page. I need you to see it. That's the point. I need you to see it. And so that's what matters. These people pulled over 31 people in the back of a U-Haul and had no fear, had no worries, no precautions whatsoever. And like I said, that's almost like they knew who was back there. And even once they, got a grip on what was going on and seen stuff, they didn't back up. It was all a joke. And guess what? They walked away with misdemeanors. And so this scares nobody out of the 31 people that was on the back of that truck. Whatever they were planning, guess what? We'll resume plans because this just was a misdemeanor. These are the people and seeds of people and friends of people and supporters of people that walked into Uvalde, that walked into the store in Buffalo, that walked into that hospital recently, and such and such and such and such. By the way, the Uvalde shooter and the Buffalo shooter knew each other. How ironic is that? I mean, these are things that if social media wasn't busy, the Twitter police wasn't busy making sure there's not a good tweet about Donald Trump, or making sure it wasn't a good tweet about Donald Trump or a post about Donald Trump or whatsoever, they would actually be reporting what's going on and on top of the real deal about stuff like that, because Donald Trump was watched and, censored over the smallest things. You mean to tell me you can't censor someone who's actually plotting these type of things, these type of atrocities? That's crazy. And hold on one second. You're listening to Krown Deon, Tan Talk Radio, WTAN, 1340 AM and 106.1 FM. I got about 10 minutes left on this podcast, and I need you guys to, if you got some words, if you got some comments, give it to me. If you got some thoughts, send it in. As always, you can catch us, and I'd like you to join in live every week You can call in as well and join us live on the line at 727 341 4000. 727 341 4000. I actually feel like I said the wrong number, but I got to keep it going. Now, excuse me. So they have in our communities, I want to really ask a question. And it's not to our people. I don't know how many Chinese restaurants, Asian markets and restaurants are in Caucasian neighborhoods. I actually don't. And so I know they are flooded in Black neighborhoods. They are flooded. You can get an egg roll and some, you can get an egg roll and some rice, fortune cookies, and crab rugula, whatever it's called, on a lot of different corners in Black communities. And you could get yaki hair, all of the wigs, every type of hair product, everything. I say that to say, not picking on them, they're business people. I say that to say Africans, we support Asians that are very, 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 very high economic value, strength. I mean, like very, very strong, to the point, actually, we should be saying to ourselves, could they actually survive without our support? Yes, probably. But in these communities, no. That's just me going out on a limb. But I don't think the Asian economic power could stand if Blacks would pull back their support or demand better. I say that because, lo and behold, this isn't the first time. Time and time again, I mean, you should probably Google or you look on YouTube, Asians jumping on or beating up or throwing out Black people, anything. I don't know. I say that to say you'll find a good history of it. And lo and behold, it happened again. I saw something on Instagram where, and the thing about it is, once one get mad at you, all of them are ready to jump on you. And you got other Blacks that sit there and watch it. Other Blacks that getting their hair done, they'll sit down and say, oh, it ain't my business. Or they getting their feet done. Oh, this is my favorite shop. I can't get involved. While somebody is getting jumped on and it ain't right. And it happens too much. These Asians actually feel like we are still, and I say still because actually, yes, it happens over there. That type of slavery has happened over there. And so these Asians actually feel like their economic power, it gives them the okay to enslave or treat us as if we are totally beneath them. And we continue to support them at a very, very, very high economic value. And they don't support, I mean, they watch you like dogs. That I know. I went in there for a wave brush several years ago, and I don't go back in them no more. Because I didn't appreciate being watched, and all I wanted was a wave brush. And I hear too many other sisters say the same thing. Sisters who don't support it no more, and some that still do. And so it don't make sense. We have to stop supporting those entities, cultures, businesses, companies like the Koch brothers with the toilet paper. These people are racist. These people do not even hide their racism. These people only like your money. And the money is green or either credit. And I don't think that comes in a color. And so we're not even making them respect our money. Understand that. That is what they respect. So Black people, we're walking in, we have our dark skin, we are recognized as Black, and we are treated like sometimes animals when they are upset with us. And I'm speaking strictly on the Asian community and what I saw today on Instagram, but it's not the first time, and it is a history of it. History of that treatment to Blacks when they walk into these Asian places. Sometimes, like I say, it could be the Asian market that sells products, and sometimes it could just be getting your toes or nails done, and the payment went wrong, and there it is. They're gonna let you know. They're gonna put you in your place. And we need to stop seeing this. Not saying that, first of all, I'm glad I wasn't there. But second of all, I'm not saying that violence was the answer. I'm saying that as a culture, as a people, we can simply shut it down with something better than violence. That is pulling back our economic strength, our economic dollar, that value. That is what they care about. And they're showing us time and time again that your black skin overweighs your green dollar right now. So we have to start making them recognize, oh, you know what? You don't like my skin, but I know you like this dollar. And you're going to start respecting my dollar. Straight like that. It's a way we can make them do that. And then you'll see a change. And if you don't, guess what? You'll start seeing them get up out of our communities. You'll start seeing 5 turn into 1 and 2 because they can no longer survive spread out like that. We're going to run them out of business. And that's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to say respect our G. That's all. Respect our economic power. And that ain't just to the Asian markets. That is in America. Understand what the black corporate, understand what our black economic value is to this country. All right. Last but not least, the abortion movement, they have no bounds, actually. I don't have to support it, and I don't have to be against it. I am against it. I am for life. But there are instances where I've heard where I can understand. But what the Democrats are talking about is totally different. Then you see all of these different movements or statements they try to make in public with all these grotesque scenes, all of these violent gestures to let you know we make a joke of killing babies. And there was another one today on Instagram. You can see it on my page. So they have a cake with nothing but, I don't want to say nothing but on the camera, in the video, Caucasians. And this is definitely some type of abortion support of abortion statement. Wait, actually, let me change. Let me walk that back. I don't know what the statement was in support of. I really don't. But I think, judging by the history of things, the political statements they've been willing to make, I feel like it was. But it didn't matter what party it came from. It didn't matter of the nay or the yay. The statement that was being made was idiotic. It was very insensitive. And it was for the black guy, for the bootlicker. I mean, how far will some blacks go to get a like? Or was this a Justin Trudeau? All right, so let me get to my point. There's a party of partygoers, and I felt like the statement was, it was a body, and the body was a cake of a lady's uterus. It was a body, but the cake was being cut from the lady's uterus. They had a hole at the top of the body, kind of like the magicians with the fake body, then the head up in the hole. All right, so they had a real person's head in the hole with the whole black face. I'm talking about black afro wig and all, with the whole Justin Trudeau going. With this whole blackface thing going. And so this could have been a white guy. I don't know. But every time somebody would come and cut the cake, this person would yell. And like I said, the cuts are coming from the uterus. And the white people are climbing, going all around, filming it, laughing. I don't know if this guy is actually thinking they're laughing with me. No, you idiot, they're laughing at you. And when he was yelling out, he would yell out in this pain, like, each cut was painful. And that is sad. That is horrible. This is Krown Deon. I am out. My time is up. Support me. I do the work. I'm unapologetically revolutionary, and God is good. Not some of the time, but all the time. We just have to do our best to stop looking for the worst and look at some of the good It's so hard right now, but the fact that you can do this, that's a start. All right. It's your boy Krown Deon, man. Unapologetically revolutionary. WTAN Tan Talk Radio, 1340 AM, 106.1 FM. Join us next time. Join us live. Download the program. Thank you. I'm out. Peace. Bim. That's what it is. That's what it does. Bim. Yeah. Thanks.